This kid named Destiny invited me to debate him, but then he backed out once he found out I wanted to talk about voter suppression. Soon after that, we broke up. Well, he blocked me. Whatever, same thing. He doesn't strike me as someone who's comfortable discussing rigged elections. Something else I find awfully suspicious, he's very triggered by the word fascist. This is a kid who drops more N-bombs than Old Dirty Bastard in a Quentin Tarantino production of Huckleberry Finn. And yet, if you call a fascist, he'll start panicking and punching couches in anger. Here's another little ditty I found. Doesn't pass the smell test.
Half a year, and that to you was not... Do you think it's that crazy to think that Republicans wouldn't end democracy based on unfounded bullshit?
Like voter fraud?
Honest to God, bro, at this point, I think either side would end democracy if they could.
Democracy.
Like, I think
democracy.
I know, hopefully Peacock's not here to get...
I don't know what that means.
But, like, if Democrats had the option to, like, the entire country would be ran by, like, California and New York. They would they'd abolish the Senate, or they just get...
Abolish the Senate. The Democrats would abolish the Senate. The Democrats won 41 million votes in the Senate. 41 million more votes than Republicans in the Senate, and yet they don't have a majority big enough to pass a $15 minimum wage, or Roe v. Wade, or an expansion of Medicare, or renewal of the child tax credits, or voting rights. Anything. They can't pass anything. It doesn't seem like the Senate is a very democratic institution, because these are all policies with a huge margin of support amongst the American people. And even the people who don't support those policies still benefit from those policies.
The filibuster, they would axe the Electoral College, and they would probably reapportion seats in the House to make it so that the most populous states, which are all like left-leaning, and then they would pack the courts. All the states that are the most populous would be having all of the votes deciding federal...
Well, some of the states that are most populous would include Texas and Florida, but I'm glad he's sort of admitting that those are really blue states. I mean, they're kind of, through electoral rigging, they are sort of occupied by Republicans. But in their hearts, they're really blue states. But nevertheless, two of the largest, most populous states in the country are Texas and Florida.
Legislation, and basically, like, any small, like, red state would be fucked. That would be ideally how progressives... Now, most Democrats aren't in favor of that, but progressives would absolutely go that route. And they go, well, bro, I don't want one guy in Wyoming to have the same amount of voting power as 12 people in fucking California.
Dude, hey, bro, using this voice to make a valid argument doesn't make the argument less valid, bro. Hey, I don't want to get sunburned, so I guess I have to put on suntan lotion when I go to the beach. My doctor told me that my cholesterol is starting to get a little high, so I guess I gotta stop eating red meat, bro. Incidentally, that's kind of true. My doctor did tell me my cholesterol is getting a little high, and he said you got to start jogging, and you got to stop eating cheese, and you got to stop eating red meat. And I thought in my mind, he had said that I either have to start jogging or stop eating red meat and cheese. And so what I did is I bought a jogging suit, and now I eat cheeseburgers while wearing my jogging suit. A national popular vote would better represent the American people than the Electoral College, because every vote will be counted. There's nothing in the dictionary or in school, you were never told that democracy is minority ruled. And by the way, it's always the worst party that needs to steal elections. It's never the one with the good ideas. It's always the ones that want to inspect your kids' genitalia. Because they're the ones that have to steal elections. I talk a lot about controlled opposition on this show. Normally, controlled opposition works like this. Both parties are the same, and at the same time, I won't vote for the lesser of two evils. So let's all just sit on the sidelines and let the moster of two evils win. That's the typical controlled opposition strategy. This is a clever new form of controlled opposition that Destiny's rocking here. This is the controlled opposition that says, no, what you were told democracy was is not democracy at all. Democracy is actually a minority rule of government. He's redefining what democracy means in order to normalize a minority party rule. And by the way, people who live in red states, they move. Just because they leave, doesn't mean their voices shouldn't be heard. Maybe playing bingos on Saturday nights at the local VFW in Butte, Montana isn't fulfilling enough. Maybe they want to go someplace where they can meet the opposite sex or even be the opposite sex. Why should they be forced to live and die in the same place their entire lives just to be represented, just to have their voice heard? That's absurd. Did Destiny do that? Incidentally, I saw Destiny on another show, and he said that he was asked by the host, "Isn't Destiny a girl's name?" And I have to disagree with that. Destiny is not a girl's name. You know what Miley Cyrus's original name was? That's on her birth certificate. That's right, Destiny. And she had it changed to Miley because obviously everybody knows Destiny is a boy's name.